There are a whole lot of things that contribute to the well-being of a community, like health and recreation and things of that nature. But I think one thing that everybody agrees is a major, major part of the health and the position of the community is employment and jobs. Of course, you can't fill any jobs without people being trained to perform whatever duties the jobs entail. So, the thing that bothers me a little bit, and I don't know that it's a bother, but there are some resources available as it relates to both uh, jobs and training. And it seems that statistically, we're not to the point where we need to be because too often individuals are not taking advantage of these resources. So I got with me today two experts who are going to assist us in trying to fill that gap and educate the community. My name is Alex C. Havisham, and the name of this show is A Call to Action. I'm so happy to have as my interviewees today Miss Tiffany Andrews, who's are you the president or the executive director? What's your title, Tiffany?
Director of Workforce Development.
Yeah, she's the director of workforce development. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir. Glad to be here.
And we also have Miss Yvonne Williams, who's the president, CEO of the Greater Macon Chamber of Commerce. Both of these organizations work tirelessly toward trying to fill those gaps as it relates to training and as it relates to employment. And they have decided that the organizations they serve and the community would be better served if they kind of work together and made maximum efforts toward filling those gaps. So we're gonna start with Miss Yvonne. First of all, tell us a little bit about yourself and the chamber and generally what the chamber is involved in and how the chamber fits into trying to make sure that there are jobs and training for the community.
Well, thank you, Alex. It's a pleasure to be with you today. And I just really appreciate the opportunity to be with Tiffany, who's a wonderful partner with WorkSource and just really helps my team member, Lynn Farmer, who is the real queen of workforce on our team, to make it look good and to align the resources. But I've been here 2.5 years serving in this capacity. And we have really transitioned the chamber to be a mission-driven organization, to really have a niche in the community that we can serve the community with a tremendous amount of servicing for our 900 business leaders that are engaged with the chamber with over 30,000 employees. So it's a very definite, needed, and expected platform of our future. So what we have done is it created a platform called Macon Works, which is up and running on our website. We are in alignment with our community partners in the workforce platforms of their niches to align resources, to have a presence digitally that we're a job seeker, a job employer, or a career academy type counselor can align all of these efforts to reach out to our community and have a young person, an adult, or a company be able to join the network and have strong commitments towards connections, connecting people to jobs, connecting people to work advancement and to career upskilling, and also connecting young people with job exploration. So you can imagine if all of this comes together, which it is, and the partners are lining up, that we can really start driving numbers of people to join job upskilling and job prosperity right here in Macon BIP. So the chamber's leading this as part of One Macon, and also with our niche towards economic development, because if you're not training talent, you're not in the economic development business. And that way we'll be serving a fabulous opportunity for our employers and our community in terms of reaching more higher employment goals.
That is so outstanding. So Tiffany, talk a little bit generally about the mission of WorkSource and some of the activities in which you are involved. And then we're gonna get into some specificities, because let me tell you what I want to happen. I want somebody, lots of folk really, to be privy to this interview, and then that results in action. You know what I'm saying? We got jobs and we got training, and I want you all to be bombarded with applications and people who are interested in the services which you all are providing. So talk a little bit about WorkSource, if you would.
I have the privilege of working with individuals who are trying to either upskill themselves or to go back to school, get a new diploma, degree, certificate, or those individuals who just absolutely don't know what they want to do. And, we're fortunate that the services that we are able to provide are for those that typically cannot do it on their own, whether it's they don't have the financial means, they don't have the knowledge, or they can't walk into a business or an industry and get the job because they just don't have the skills. They've never done anything like this before. So our team gets to work with those individuals, get them across the finish line is what we call it. We work hand in hand with the school board and encourage those 3 E's with getting them employed, educated, or enlisted. That is the exact same pathway that we go down as well. But we do have resources for those individuals that meet our criteria so that we can help them get a certification and it doesn't have to be in a Middle Georgia school. We have individuals that are currently at Albany State, also at Fort Valley State. So it's not just the Middle Georgia colleges. If you have a specific pathway that you want to go into and there's not eligibility here in the Middle Georgia area, we can still help you reach that goal. We would prefer you to stay in Middle Georgia, but we can also broaden that opportunity to individuals. And like you said, we'll get into the details, but just overall, we have the funds and the resources and the team available to help those individuals either get employment, enlisted, or to continue their education.
Is there an income requirement as it relates to who you can assist?
Yes, sir, there is. And the easiest way to evaluate it is anybody who is receiving public assistance is eligible for our program.
That's very, very outstanding. So Yvonne, talk a little bit about, if you would, I got this flyer from the Industrial Authority, which the caption was, "Jobs are available." So, I mean, it kind of bothers me because I think a lot of people, I guess I'm bothered by everything today. A lot of people don't realize that. And it could just mean so much. And then you talk about, I think I had Andrea Cook on my show this morning. She talked about 44% poverty, 44% poverty rate in Bibb County. And to me, that's an oxymoron, for all these jobs to be available and for the poverty rate to be that high. So talk about, how these jobs are available. And she just named several industries, and some of them had a few jobs available and some of them had dozens of jobs, So talk, if you would, about that dynamic and how, these initiatives can help to address, the filling of those jobs, which in turn will reduce the poverty rate.
Well, I share your passion, Alex. And, we're coming out of COVID. And of course, COVID had a lot of issues dealing with people being unemployed. And it certainly taught us a lesson. And that lesson is we have got to align our resources so that we can hit people as they project towards 5-year type projections for job creation, so that people are in pipelines learning and having career coaching and career upskilling to meet those job demands for future. Today, we need to identify what are the gaps. Is it a gap of childcare? Is it a gap of transportation? Is it someone who needs to have some more soft skill development? This way, this Macon Works platform, we can identify the right partners to come together to say, how do we meet scale? How do we look at the 5-year projection? How do we address what's needed in near term? And then how do we bring people from behind into a better platform? And there's certainly a lot of different resources in Macon Bib that specialize in their area. So just think about it. If you have WorkSource of Tiffany's department, if you have the Macon Bib Industrial Authority, if you have Central Georgia Tech, and you have Hutchins Academy, and we're all working together, then we can hit high school students as early as 9th grade. So they're preparing what's going to happen after they graduate with the 3 E's that Tiffany mentioned. We can hit adult populations that need to be upskilled or reskilled, and wraparound services to help them with transportation, childcare, and other amenities that will help them be dutifully employed. And then we can also go out and recruit talent from outside Macon and say, would you like to move to Macon and look for these jobs so that we can grow population? So it's a full economic cycle, and we have the right mindset now to get this partnership pulled together. And that will start changing the numbers that you're passionate about, that this community really needs to lift its poverty cycle.
Thank you very much. And that's very, very exciting. Tiffany, talk a little bit about, because I think that, part of your purpose and your objective, you kind of where the rubber meets the road, and too often individuals, who are in certain positions who would qualify for certain resources and, somehow, and I mean, that's kind of prevalent. I was on another call yesterday about PPP and was informed that, a great percentage of the individuals, particularly minority businesses, did not apply, have not applied for PPP, many of whom would qualify. But that seems to be, and I can't fully explain it, and I don't know what it is, but that seems to be a barrier, for people to really try to examine, open their eyes, and ask for resources because they are so available, but I just don't understand why. So talk a little bit about, what WorkSource is doing to kind of let the individuals know and maybe how the community can help.
Right. Yeah. The struggle is real. You are absolutely right. COVID has opened our eyes to how difficult it's been to reach that audience, and not only reach them, but to educate them on the resources that are available, because some are afraid of COVID, just outright do not want to get a job, don't want to go to school, don't want to do anything but protect themselves, keep themselves healthy, which we can understand. And then there's also the education portion of, you can still participate in some of our programs and not lose your unemployment if it's done correctly. But ultimately, we want you off of unemployment. We want individuals to have a sustainable lifestyle, not something that they're having to rely on that unemployment check or the government each month, so they can provide for their families and continue for generations to provide for resources. So some things that we've been doing, our one stop that is located within the Georgia Department of Labor is closed to the public. So we have a phone number that we have tried to make available to the community that anybody can call. We're triaging for them. Just call that one number and we will take care of everything for the individual, whether if they need financial assistance, if they need educational assistance, if they need mental, any of those, wraparound services that we talk about that we have available, we'll triage it. We will take care of that individual and make sure that those resources are connected to them. And that phone number is 478-216-7492. And the wonderful voice on the other end of that phone will be Doug Rome, who is our one-stop operator, and he will get that individual connected to who they need to speak with. We've also been out into communities, different subdivisions that we've done informational sessions. We've passed out flyers. We've been at food banks. We've been at the churches. Just this week, we were out at the warming center, the Brookdale Warming Center. We did a session for those individuals, trying to see if we could help them, get a path toward what their next step is. We understand there's a lot of barriers that they have to overcome, but that's what we're here for. We're here to help, address those barriers with them, walk them through the process, and then meet them where they are so that we can continue them down that self-sustainability.
Thank you very much. This is a call to action. I'm your host, Alex Habersham, having this very interesting economic job development, gainfully employed conversation with Ms. Tiffany Andrews, who's the director of WorkSource Georgia, and also Ms. Yvonne Williams, who's the president CEO of the Greater Macon Chamber of Commerce. And this is so important. It can really make a difference in every facet of our community. And that's why we're here. And that's why we're talking, because if in fact we take advantage of all of these resources, then, my favorite expression, Yvonne, is a rising tide raises the whole ship. So
Yes.
as the element increase and as job increase, then everybody is uplifted. Now, talking about raising the ship, both of you talk a little bit about how the community can help, can assist in accomplishing the goals and missions of your respective organizations.
I'll just say that I think that we're on the right path by having outreach like this today. The outreach is helping people understand that there are alignments, there are resources that can make it an advantage for Macon if we just have the intentional effort together to make sure that we're deploying these resources in the right way. I think we have a mayor who's got passion around this and wants to see it successful for Macon Bibb. If we're smart, we'll do this because there's going to be many, many grants and opportunities to access financial resources if you can show that you have a partnership and you show that you've got the ability to implement versus just a planning process. So I think there's so many economics around this that can be advantageous for Macon Bibb as we continue to build the momentum and build the enthusiastic support.
Okay, Tiffany, what about you and what entities or resources or individuals or institutions can play a role? And no, I hear you. I know you're trying hard and you're reaching out to a lot of different areas. What are some what would you like to see? Because I think it's everybody's responsibility. We have to get away from that one-ism and then, develop a concern, irrespective of whether you're just working in the community, whether you're on the board of the chamber, whether you're in a neighborhood organization, whether you're in a church. I think that we need to generate a conscientiousness, if you please, on the part of everybody. Well, what can I do? What can I do to make this? And then, people like to complain about the negativities, about the crime and about the poverty rate. Well, I think we all would kind of come together and pull together and familiarize ourselves with resources. We can make a difference. And Yvonne mentioned 5 years. I think we can beat that 5-year plan, really, to show significant improvement. So what can the community do as it relates to WorkSource?
We need people. We need individuals that are willing to want to make a change in their life, to improve themselves. We have resources available right now that are COVID specific for unemployed individuals to help get them a skill set or to put them to work. And we're struggling, Alex. I mean, we cannot find those people who are willing to make that long-term change. Individuals right now have so much going on with COVID and they're so focused on short-term just existing that we need to shift that mindset to where they're looking at how can I truly impact my life long-term? And you can't do that when you're just working and living off of unemployment. That's not going to fix you long term. That'll fix you short term, but it's not going to make a difference.
Well, and I think we need to, I think somehow there needs to be a re-emphasis, if you please, on getting a skill and trades. You know, everybody, you can learn to do something.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? In some instances, plumbers make more than principals.
Oh,
You know,
absolutely.
so if we could just kind of impress on the minds of individuals, you can get a skill and the resources are available out there to get them, and that's very, very important. And I want to encourage the community. Those of you who are hearing and seeing this, you gotta know somebody. There's an old saying that says, "Each one reach one, each one teach one."
Mhm.
And then if you know somebody, a nephew or an uncle or cousin or neighbor or church member or what have you, that can benefit or you feel that can be uplifted through training and or employment, then then you can make that referral to WorkSource. Now, Yvonne, I want to make sure I understand, and I know you said it first, but kind of go through that initiative again that you said. And what did you call it?
The Macon Works platform,
Okay,
and
yeah.
the tool that we're using is a digital platform called Workbay. And Workbay brings together job seekers, employers that are seeking employees, and career coaching and counseling all together, so that if a person goes onto the platform and looks up job categories, they can understand what are the skill sets do I need, what is the path for me to get there, because it even guides you into a process of being coached and skilled to get to that level of certification to apply for the jobs. And it also, I would like to invite all of our employers out there to really go and sign up and be on the career platform, because for them to be able to reach out and have job opportunities and also employment candidates, they need to go and utilize this platform so that they can be ahead of the game in terms of projecting who and what is available in terms of our market for hiring. That would go a long way with how we develop internships, how we have teacher shadowing experiences, and how we start doing placement that really affects Macon Bib.
So,
Yvonne, isn't there a job fair coming up soon too that the employers?
Yes, thank you. You let Tiffany tell about the job fair.
Yeah. So there's a job fair that's in partnership with the Board of Education that's coming up that I think would be exceptional and leads so well into what Miss Yvonne is saying about the employers getting involved and engaged, because these students, what we've found out is they don't know what they don't know. So if they're not aware of these job opportunities that are out there, so for example, if they're in a household that has always done car mechanics, which is a fabulous job right now, well, what if the son or the daughter doesn't know about engineering, but their skill set and their ability and their aptitude is more aligned with an engineer? Well, if they attend in these job fairs, then they could be introduced into these companies that have engineering services, and then that student could get aligned in a pathway that is more suited for them. Same thing with, if your family's always an engineer, but well, maybe, technology is more your thing. Same thing. They don't know what they don't know. And unless they attend these types of events with the job fairs where they're introduced to these opportunities, that's why we're so excited about this partnership and the job fair that's upcoming.
and like I said, I'm always, impressed by all of the resources that are available out there. I'm sure, Tiffany, nothing succeeds like success. I'm sure you got one or two stories that you can tell. So while you're thinking about that, so you're approaching it both from the employer angle and the employee angle.
Yes.
So if there is an employer who needs a certain skill set or some kind of employee, are you saying that they could put that position out on Macon Works? Or if there is an employee, who has a certain skill And I want to mention something right quick. You know, there's a real need for construction workers, for contractors.
Yes.
You know, a guy told me the other day, you know, a lot of these contractors, you know, they can't find employees. You can't find carpenters, you can't find brick masons and things of that nature. So I mean, that's very, very important. But back to you, Yvonne. So it's a two-tiered approach. I guess it's a three-tiered
Right.
approach.
Yeah, because you're right. The other piece is the educational component of how career counselors and in-school career developers can start directing students towards their interest. So it's a great way to use technology, which is what all the students today are going to use to make sure that they can be coached and they can observe their interest on a really good guidance plan to really map out what your career, your total job experience will be long term, not just a job, but a career for the future.
That's important. And give that website again where they can go and find it.
Macon Works at the Greater Macon Chamber of Commerce website.
Okay, that's very good. Thank you very much. Tiffany?
Yes, sir. So a good news story, success that we've had. And this one is recent to us. We just presented it to our board. It is so heartwarming. It's about a gentleman who was incarcerated. He able to get out, was trying to, reinvent himself, wanted to start over. And he went to school, received his CDL license, and is driving all over the country. And he's been kind enough to send us pictures all over. I mean, snow, beautiful landscape pictures. And the most recent picture, which was the most exciting, was where he bought a brand new car. He
Wow.
hadn't owned a car in decades, and just really proud of himself, which is the exciting thing to watch for somebody who's been incarcerated for the majority of their life, that was able to truly come out, turn himself around, is a productive citizen, and is able to just look in the mirror now and, be proud of himself, which is just the most heartwarming part of this job, for sure.
And a great salary.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much. This is a call to action. I'm your host, Alex Habersham, having interviewed.
Okay.
Miss Yvonne Williams of the Greater Macon Chamber of Commerce, and Miss Tiffany Andrews of WorkSource. And I really appreciate it. And in my part statement is, don't just stand there, do something. Any kind of situation in which you find yourself, there's a resource. And then, so if you just take the initiative, if you need a job, if you need training, if you need mental assistance, if you need financial assistance, whatever it is, there's a resource. We are blessed with resources in this community, and we want everybody to take advantage of, and we won't have a 44% poverty rate. We'll have a 44% rich rate. This is a call to action. I'm your host, Alex Habersham. Thank you, ladies, for a phenomenal interview. Have a great day.